Hi everyone, my name is Daniel Portillo. In this video I have to read the unit 1 of my English book and try to explain it. Okay, the name of the unit is Nourishment. The purpose are reading, reviewing, scanning, identifying the purpose of parts of a text, vocabulary, reporting verbs, reading, using compound sentences, and grammar models. There are uh, discussion points. Uh, I have some questions. Uh, I am going to read the questions, and after I will answer. Look at the picture, describe what you can see. This is a picture, okay? I can see a market. There are a lot of vegetables and people selling. Um, okay. Uh, there is a variety of products, and that's it. What kind of food do you eat? Do you enjoy eating? Uh, in my special case, I prefer food like pizza, burgers, or hot dogs. Um, are they local products or from other countries? Uh, this kind of food is original of other countries, but uh, there is people that um, may do this kind of food in my town. Okay, next question. What foods have a special meaning in your cultures? When do you eat them? Okay. Um, I think that uh, there are not food with a special meaning in my city, uh, but in some parts of the city, people do mole poblano uh, when they have a party in their towns. Okay, next page. In the page number 8, I have to read. I have to answer a exercise. Okay, vocabulary preview. Match the words and bold with a word or phrase with a similar meaning. Number 1. Giving money is a popular Chinese New Year tradition. It's letter C costume. Number 2. Every piece of jewelry she makes is unique. You'll never see two that are the same. It's letter A. Unlike anything or anyone else. Number 3. The new business brought prosperity to the town. It's letter E. Wealth. Number 4. Uh, on our country's flag, white symbolizes peace. Its letter D represents. Number 5. The group was not successful because there was no unity among its members. They were always disagreeing. Its letter H, state of cooperation, agreement, or friendship between people or countries. Number 6. Rice is one of the world's most important sources of nutrition. Its letter J, its letter G, food that is necessary for life and health. Sorry. Number 7. People living in large urban areas often experience problems with traffic and air pollution. Its letter B, relating to towns and cities. Number 8. He was a very prominent and well respected member of the community. Its letter F, important and well known. Uh, okay, the next part is reading food, food as communication. Before you read, previewing. Previewing key parts of a text before you read makes it easier for you to understand its main ideas. Look at the pictures, read the title, introduction, and any heading in the text, and skim over the passage. Then think about the topic and what you already know about it. When you have a sense of what the text is about before you read, you should be able to understand and remember it better. Uh, I have to read um, a text in this book, and this is food as communication. We usually understand when someone speaks or writes to us, and many gestures and facial expressions have meaning too. But have you ever considered what and how wit is a form of communication? Food serves this purpose in two fundamental ways. In many cultures, people share food at mealtimes, sharing bread or other food. It's a common human tradition that can promote unity and trust. Food can also have a specific meaning and play a prominent role in a family or culture's celebrations and traditions. The foods we eat and when and how we eat them are often unique to a particular, particular culture, or may even differ between rural and urban areas within one country. In most cultures, bread represents nourishment. It is also one of the most commonly shared foods in the world. Sharing bread, whether during a special occasion or at the family dinner table, is a common symbol of companionship and togetherness. In fact, the word companion comes from the Latin roots come together and pains bread. Many cultures also celebrate birthdays and marriage with elaborately decorated cakes, that are cut and shared among the West. Early forms of cake were simple, a kind of bread, so this tradition has its roots in the custom of sharing bread. Food also plays an important role in many New Year celebrations. In the southern United States, uh, pieces of cornbread represent blocks of gold for prosperity in the new year. In Greece, people share a special cake called basilopita. A coin is baked into the cake, which signifies success in the new year. For the person who receives it, most of the foods eaten during the Chinese New Year have symbolic significance. Sometimes this is based on their shape. For instance, long noodles symbolize long life. The symbolism can also be based on the sound of the word in Chinese. For example, people give out orange because the word for orange sounds like the word for wealth. Food can also be part of a ceremony. For example, many cultures have ceremonies to celebrate the birth of a child, and food can play a significant role. In China, when a baby is 1 month old, families name and welcome their child in a celebration that includes giving red colored eggs to West. In Afghanistan, parents feed babies butter and sugar for the first 6 days of life to symbolize cleansing. In a ceremony around 100 days after a child's birth, Japanese families symbolically feed the baby by putting different kinds of food to its lips and sometimes putting a single grain of rice in its mouth. This ritual expresses their hope that the baby will never be hungry. In many cultures, round foods such as grapes, pomegranates, bread, and mooncakes are eaten at welcome celebrations to symbolize family unity. Nutrition is essential for life, so it is not surprising that food is such an important part of different cultures around the world. The food people eat during celebrations and ceremonies can symbolize many things, but sharing food is one custom that almost all humans have in common. Okay, now I have a exercise. Uh, there are some questions. Um, okay, preview food as communication and answer the questions. 1. Where do you think this text comes from? Uh, a daily newspaper. B. A magazine called World Culture. Or C. A magazine called World of Nature. It's letter B. Mm, Number 2. What is the main idea? A. The importance of food in culture. B. The high cost of eating well. Or C. The importance of healthy eating. It's letter A. Okay. Number 3. What do you think already known about the topic? I think that um, it's a good concept because the food chains around the world. The people eat uh, some products, and it depends on the place that you live. Number 4. What do you hope to learn from the text? I hope to learn that what happened with the food on other countries or other kind of people in different places. Okay. Next, global reading. Read food as communication. Match the sentence with a paragraph they best summarize. Okay. Number one is letter D. Food is a way of communicating. Number two is letter C. Food can bring people together. Number three is letter A. Food is important in many New Year celebrations around the world. And number four is letter B. Around the world, food is important in the welcoming ceremonies for young children. Close reading. Scanning. Scanning is a technique used when you are looking for the specific information. It is important for you to practice this skill as academic reading is usually for a specific purpose such as answering and answering questions. This skill will help you find information more quickly. Okay, the next exercise is complete the chart with information from the text. Uh, I have a chart. Okay. Um, Food, culture or country, significates or meaning. Number one, bread. Worldwide nourishment. Two, cornbread. Southern United States, prosperity or wealth. Three, basilopita. Race. Success in the new year. 4. Red colored eggs, China, to welcome a new baby. 5. Butter and sugar, Afghanistan, cleansing. 6. Various food, grain of rice, Japan, to protect the baby from hunger. 7. Round food, worldwide family unity. Next page, page number 10. Developing critical thinking. Discuss these questions. Which foods are sharing in your culture and why? In my culture, we share share all kind of foods. Uh, for example, um, in the dinner time in our family, often we eat pizza or in the birthday of any person, we shared a cake, um, sometimes of chocolate, and that's it. Um, Question number 2. Many of the food traditions mentioned in the text are very old. Why do you think they are still important today? Because the family unity is very important in the world. Uh, Without it, uh, the world can be different. Okay, reading 2. Farms of the future. Before you read, discuss these questions. Number 1. What are some of the reasons the food is transported over long distance? I think that it's because in some parts of the world, uh, some kinds of products uh, are not growing or making for the people. Question 2. What are the advantages or disadvantages of doing this? Um, the advantages is that a special kind of food can be eaten in other part of the world where they don't have it, and the disadvantages are the pollution of the transportation. Global reading. Identifying the purpose of parts of a text. Uh, Usually, different parts of a text perform different functions. Identifying the purpose of different parts of a text can help you recognize the structure and understand its overall purpose. Some common functions are listed below. Introduce the topic. This is the first paragraph in which a new idea is mentioned. Report that authors often group the most important figures and statistics together in one paragraph. Explain facts. These paragraphs give real, true information rather that than opinion, argument, or speculation. Authors often establish the facts of a situation before presenting opinion, argument, or speculation. Give supporting information. This paragraph presents examples and other information to support arguments or to give context to the topic. Present an argument. These paragraphs group together all the arguments on one side of a issue. Present another side of an issue. A well-balanced text other presents more than one side of an issue, even if the author is biased. They will often present opposing arguments to make the text upper neutral. Now I have an exercise. Uh, Read Farms of the Future. Circle the purpose of each section of the text. Before to answer, I have to read the text. Farms of the Future. Skyscrapers are the ultimate symbol of urban life. City dwellers are used to saying tall office building, multi-story 5-star hotels, and apartment tower with thousands of residents. Farms, on the other hand, are associated with rural life. However, there are experts who think that some skyscrapers should become farms to in order to meet the increasing food needs of our planet. By 2050, some social scientists suggest almost 80% of the Earth's pollution could live in cities. In addition, the human population could increase to 9.1 billion people during that time. Yet the amount of land available for farming will be the same. If current farming practice don't change by the middle of this century, one prominent expert claims we will need an area of new land larger than Brazil to produce enough food for the planet. Vertical farms, where urban farmers could grow crops like wheat and rice in the environmentally friendly skyscrapers, could be the solution. In spite of concerns over high cost, environmental health experts want to make these urban farms a reality and use these skyscrapers to grow crops. They believe that we can increase food production by changing our thinking from out to vertical farms will have many advantages, supporters say. Vertically grown food will be cultivated with minimal effects on the environment. Unlike traditionally farming, vertical farming would not force animals out of their habitats by taking over large areas of land, nor would it pollute the air with the use of heavy farming equipment. Finally, in addition to creating more farmable land, vertical farms would reduce the cost and negative effects of transporting food over long distances. Growing prosperity around the world has led to many people demanding and expecting that all foods are available available all year round. Indoor farming could produce crops constantly, and crops would not suffer from weather-related problems with drought or flooding. In addition, the use of chemical pesticides for controlling insects would be minimal. Critics of vertical farming point out that although crops growing in a tall glass building would get natural sunlight during the day, it wouldn't be enough. The plants closest to the windows would grow much more quickly than the plants further inside. The plants growing away from the windows may not produce as many or as high quality vegetables. For this reason, vertical farms would need additional light sources. Researchers have found that even in single-story greenhouse, artificial light is often needed for year-round crops. For example, Tainted Heart is a large indoor farming complex in the United Kingdom that produces 15% of the British lettuce crop. During the winter, the complex uses artificial light for 15 hours a day. Experts have concluded that generating enough solar energy to support growth requires in areas about 20 times larger than the planting areas. Therefore, natural light cannot be a workable solution for vertical farms. Another way of growing fresh food year round is to build urban farms on rooftops. This more practical approach may be more achievable than the idea of farms in glass skyscrapers, researchers suggest. However, rooftop farming is expensive, and unless people want to pay more for fresh local food, the technique may not succeed in the marketplace. Experts, experts agree that innovative farming practices are needed to support the planet's need for more and more food at affordable costs, both to the farmer and to the consumer. Vertical and rooftop farms may be a small scale answer, but the best ideas could be yet to come. Okay, returning to the exercise, I have the paragraphs 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, 6 and 7, 8 and 9. I have to choose the purpose. Paragraph 1. Purpose. Introduce the topic. Paragraph 2. Present an argument. Paragraph 3. Present another side. Paragraphs 4 and 5. Report data. Paragraph 6 and 7. Give supporting information. Paragraph 8. Explain facts, and paragraph 9. Conclusion. Okay, close reading. Read Farms of the Future again and write T true or F false. 1. The world's pollution is 9.1 billion. It's true. No, it's false. The environment health expert supports vertical farming. True. The rooftop farming is cheap. False. Vertical farming will be improve food safety. False. Natural sunlight is sufficient on a skyscraper farm. False. Janet Air produce 20% of UK lettuce. True. Next page. Page number 12. Developing critical thinking. Discuss these questions. Do you think we need to produce more food or change our consumption habits? Why? I think we have to change our consumption habits because uh, nowadays um, we we want to eat all the time, every day. Next question: Are you willing to pay more of locally grown food? Why or why not? Uh, I wouldn't pay more for a local food because in the place where I live, the people produce uh, their food in the ground, or I don't know. In this kind of food, we have more variety, quality, and freshness. Two. Think about the ideas from food as communication and farms of the future and discuss these questions. A traditionally Sunday lunch is the West Tropical travel almost 13,000 miles to get to the dinner table. What traditional foods eaten in your country are more imported? Nowadays, we usually import most of our fruit from other places, for example, Veracruz or I don't know other places, because in this place we can have this kind of products. Two, how can we share the world's food supply better? Pardon, sorry. We need to try new farming methods like uh, don't use pesticides, um, and that's it. Vocabulary skills, reporting verbs, articles or scientific texts often cite research to support the writer's idea. To introduce the results of the research, writers often use reporting verbs such as claim, conclude, find, point out, and suggest to present ideas. This can also indicate how certain the results of the research are. The verbs conclude, find, and point out show that the writer has more confidence in the research. Example: researchers have found that even in single-story greenhouses, artificial light is often needed in year-round crops. Next, The verbs claim and suggest show less certainty. By 2050, some social scientists suggest almost 80% of the Earth's pollution could be live in cities. Population could live in cities. Exercise. Read the sentence and see whether they show more certainty or less certainty. Okay. Uh, Number one. Studies have suggested that rooftop gardens are a good solution for smaller urban areas. It is less certainty. Number two. Buying locally grown vegetables are better for the environment, experts point out. It is more certainty. Number three. One study concluded that vegetables that, that are transported far from where they are picked lose vital nutrients. It's more certainty. Number four. Some researchers claim that the benefits of using artificial light aren't enough to make it a good economical choice. Less certainty. And 5. Researchers have found that even the single-story greenhouse artificial light is often needed for year-round crops. It's more certain. Okay, writing. Describing a special dish in your country. You are going to learn about using compound sentence and modal verbs. You are then going to use this to write a paragraph describing special dishes eaten for celebrations or holidays in your country. Writing skill. Using compound sentence. Varying your sentence structure with compound sentence adds interest to your writing. A sentence with two or more independent clauses with a subject and a verb is a compound sentence. The conjunctions most commonly used in compound sentences are and, but, and so. Uh, Structure: subject, verb, conjunctions, subject, verb. Example: many cultures have ceremonies to celebrate the birth of a child, and food can play a prominent role. Okay, nor and yet are also used to join independent clauses. As a conjunction, yet has a similar function to would. Example: sharing food is a custom that almost all humans have in common, yet any countries don't have enough food while others have too much. Nor is used after a negative statement when adding another negative statement. With nor, the first independent clause needs to have a verb in the negative. Invert the subject and verb after nor. Structure: subject, verb, nor, verb, subject. Example: indoor crops would not need a lot of chemical pesticides, nor will they suffer from weather related problems. Not nor they would. Bone. Look back at food as communication and farms of the future. Find an example of a compound sentence with each of the conjunctions. Listen below. Underline the subject and highlight the verbs, then circle the conjunctions want and it is in the text 2, paragraph 5. 2. But it is in the text 2, paragraph 9. 3. So it is in the text 1, paragraph 5. 4. Nor it is in the text 2, paragraph 4. 5. Yet it is in the text 2, paragraph 2. Exercise 2. Circle the correct conjunction to complete these sentences. 1. It is more environmental friendly to eat locally grown food, nor or yet. Many cultures spend millions to dollars importing food from thousands of miles away. In this case, is yet 2. Vertical farming would be many advantages, but one major drawback is that it will need to use artificial light. 3. In many cultures, people eat symbolic foods to celebrate the new year, and food also plays an important role in welcoming ceremonies for babies in many cultures. 4. Rooftop farms don't require artificial light, nor do they pollute the air with the use of heavy farming equipment. 5. The world's pollution is growing, so we need more space to produce food. Next page. Grammar. Models. Models have many uses. Three common uses are to talk about probability, make recommendations, and to show obligation. Study the forms. Form and example. Probability. Most and cannot express strong certainty. Structure. Subject plus must or cannot plus base form. Example. Therefore, natural light cannot be a workable solution for vertical farms. May, might, and could express an opinion that the writer thinks has a fair possibility of being true. Structure. Subject plus might or could plus base form. Example. The technique might not succeed in the marketplace. Could often express one possibility out of several. Example. The human population could increase to 9.1 billion people by 2050. Recommendation. Should and shouldn't are used to make recommendations or suggestions. Structure. Subject plus should plus base form. Example. Urban populations should consider alternative sources of food. Obligations. Need to and have to are stronger and are used to show obligation. Structure. Subject plus need to or have to plus base form. Example. The world has to find a viable solution to the potential food crisis. Cannot shows negative obligation, but don't have to and don't have not shows no obligation. Food grown in vertical farms doesn't have to be transported very far. Exercise 1. Look at this statement and decide if they express certainty, possibility, recommendation, or obligation. 1. The consumption of food is dictated by rules in many cultures that visitors should be careful to observe. Its recommendation. 2. In many countries, companies now have to follow rules regarding food advertising. Its obligation. 3. Reducing meat consumption could help lessen men's environmental impact. Its possibility. Number 4. Consumption patterns in developing countries cannot continue since they are not sustainable. Its certainty. 5. The world has to redress the balance for food distribution throughout the globe. Its obligation. 6. The world's population may start to fall again as families become smaller. Its possibility. 2. Complete the sentences with the modals need to, cannot, might, should, and have to, and the expression in the box. Uh, in the box we have accepted, change, continue to feed, find a solution, and grow a lot more food. Number 1. If someone offers you food, you should accept it because it symbolizes friendship. Number 2. If the world's population increases to 9.1 billion, we will have to grow a lot more food. 3. At the current rate of global population growth, we must continue to feed the world's population with current farming methods. 4. Some culture tradition may change as the world becomes more globalized. 5. Supporters of vertical farming have to find a solution to the light sources problem if they want to make the idea a reality. Okay, that's it. This is my video about Unit 1 in the English class of level 7 in the university UPP. That's all. See you later.